these elections come down to the independent voter, the actual people who actually really vote. They're not they're not affiliated with any party. They might lean left or right, but they're very much centered on issues. You know what I'm saying? They probably do support abortion to an extent, or pro-choice to an extent. They probably do support, you know what I'm saying, immigration and asylum seeking
But it's
immigration.
not the reason why they go into the.
But again, you're gonna have your top issue, and then at the end of the day, those people vote with their gut, right? So I've watched both these people. Here's what I'm saying. I'm rocking with this person more because my gut is telling me this person is probably up for the job and more prepared for it than this person is. And that's who decides the election. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of The Great Deliberators. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Imperator Rose.
It's your boy DK.
And one time for our boy O-Bean.
Say your name, make your name ring.
Say your name, make your name ring. Woo! Post-election coverage, y'all.
Here we are.
It was a crazy.
We made it.
It was a crazy day. World didn't end.
Yeah, for some reason, everybody thought we weren't going to be here.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that we ended that thing early, though. We knew it.
I mean, yeah.
We knew it.
But we pretty much figured it was pretty much. I thought it'd be closer, but like I said, if you gotta lose, I'd rather be in landslide. I don't want to be waiting days to figure out.
Once I saw Georgia and how many percentage points like he was winning by, even though it was only like 30% of the count, I was like, yeah, she's not making up.
I knew what was up when we were close to the state. It was 98%, and he was still up, and I was like, okay, this is a wrap. Yeah. He got it. Like,
I went home. I went straight to sleep. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad that I went to bed early and didn't really stay up because
as soon as you left, like
I didn't have the emotional. You know what I'm saying? I probably didn't have the emotional outrage that so many people seem to have and still have till today. Uh-huh. Like I kind of I accepted it, went to bed, and I knew the fate when I woke up. It wasn't like I was waking up praying for a miracle or something like that.
Well, I also wasn't too heavily invested because I didn't really believe in either one of these people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for all the grief that I've given people for you know what I'm saying, not actually choosing the person who you want to vote for and voting against, you know what I'm saying? You still got to make a choice, so I got it. But I wound up doing the same thing. I voted for the person who I felt like was the lesser two evils because I don't have much faith in the government, period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, it doesn't matter, who it is. You know what I'm saying? To me, if you work for the government, you're inefficient and you suck at your job. So, it doesn't matter who you throw in there. The issue is the government as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So, until that shit gets solved, and for all intents and purposes, Donald Trump pretends like he wants to be that type of person. So, if he does, kudos. You know what I'm saying? If he does, swear to God, a quarter of what he wants to do, he'll probably have one of the greatest presidential 4 years of anybody in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with that being said, I'm definitely not rooting against the guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not rooting against him.
That
quite frankly,
that would be
so
pointless.
Sorry, this is gonna sound horrible, but for some of you it's gonna sound horrible. I really don't care. But man, when I woke up and the market was what it was, I was like,
look,
hey, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Look,
dog, Tesla went up. I'm talking about I woke up, it was up 16-17%.
My guy.
You know what I'm saying? My portfolio was doing great.
My guy, you see this chart?
Yeah.
Oh, do you see this chart?
Dog.
My God.
Dog, I've been up stacks.
Hey, yo.
In just 2 days.
Yo, we
stacks. So I'm kind of you know what?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody says, y'all need to be voting your pockets. That's the number one thing you need to vote for. Is your how is this going to help you financially? And I know that's not everything. Honestly, that's the reason why
it should be 50% of the reason why you vote, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying it's going to be everything, but that should be a majority of the reason why. I didn't want to vote for Trump because morally, I felt like he was more divisive more than anything. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit up here and make it seem like I'm super upset or mad about things. This is a democracy. America voted. America chose to
constitutional republic, technically, but they like to call it a democracy.
But I will say I'm really glad that, like you said earlier, that it was kind of a landslide. That not only did he get the electoral college, but he got the popular vote too.
Yeah, I'm saying bro, listen.
And he won't have any excuses. He won't have any excuses of not getting his agenda done. From my understanding, he probably will get the House or is going to be super close. Mm-hmm. He definitely got the Senate.
He got the Senate, but again, you need 60 votes from the Senate to get anything passed through the Senate. So again, this whole he got the Senate, that doesn't mean anything. He doesn't have 60 seats though. So,
no doubt, but I think it is a little bit easier to maneuver maybe some independents or some right-leaning Democrats, and when you only have to lean like 5 or 6 your way, it makes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It makes it a little bit easier.
It depends on what he's trying to do.
Either way, we can both agree that this is not normal for a president to have the House, to have the Senate, and to have the Supreme Court.
It's only happened like a handful of times.
Thank you. So the ultimate, when I'm saying that there's not going to be much of an excuse, you're not having the uphill battle that presidents previous to him, you know what I'm saying, in our lifetime had.
Well, last time it happened was 2008 with Obama. It was the last time they swept the House, everything. So in which case, actually, no, I think Donald Trump's been in 2016 too. I think he swept it.
I don't think he had the House.
He didn't.
And you also thought that Nancy Pelosi wasn't Nancy Pelosi the leader of the Senate?
Well, I'm saying there was a congressman from Texas.
Leader of the House,
who was Republican. He was complaining about how like in 2016 we had
he
all
didn't
three.
have both the Senate or the House.
Okay,
maybe for 2 years out of the 4. But if I'm not mistaken, Nancy Pelosi was definitely a thorn.
Maybe homies. Well, that was toward the end with the whole COVID relief checks, and she didn't want to release them and all that. So yeah, probably the first 2 years he probably had it. So the last 2 maybe not. But I definitely remember that dude being all like, "We had the House, Senate, and we still didn't get immigration passed." You know what I'm saying? So which leads us back to, you know what I'm saying, let's go ahead. Let's jump right into it. So let's discuss where they went wrong. What went wrong for the Democratic Party, and how did we get here? For starters, and we just say this was probably 75 to, you can go even about 90% of it. It just took too long to get her in. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe Biden had already been campaigning for like a year by this point. The way in which the transaction happened, you could tell that it clearly wasn't Joe Biden actually, you know what I'm saying, like succeeding and saying, you know what, I can't do this. We gotta let somebody. We gotta put somebody else in. It was pushed out. They didn't go, to your point, they didn't go about it really in a very democratic way and actually hold a primary. And even if you're gonna win, and to some people, it may not seem like a lot, but to some people, that shit matter. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you're skipping this process, what other process, which is like the most basic form of like a democracy.
I was pressing the issue.
I get it.
The issue, like,
and the more you listen to people,
even if you know that's what the outcome is going to be, that she's going to be the one to come out of the process. You know what I'm saying? Let it at least be challenging. Let her come out there and come up with a plan and argue with some individuals within her camp. You know what I'm saying, to come with a coalition of individuals, like, okay, this is what we're pushing for, this is what we fought for, and in a way, the process allowed me to be here today. But
yeah, I think, and the more you listen to people, especially like when you see it on Twitter, a lot of people brought that up, which is listen, the thing is I've been trying to tell niggas from the beginning, this party ain't the same party that we believe that it was.
And they're really taking black and brown people for granted.
I'm saying it's not just that. You always take your constituents for granted. It's just like with anything, bro. Like if you know you got a core fan base, you know what I'm saying? Think about employers, right? Employers don't pay the people who work for them more, but they'll always pay somebody that's coming in new more, right? You give more to get somebody on board than you do to people who you know you already have in your pocket. So it's you could just call it a way of life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the unfortunate part, but unfortunately that's just kind of the way of life. The issue is, you know, it's all those little things, like I said, the whole suing Robert Kennedy to get him removed off of ballots. Like, how are you preaching about trying to save democracy and y'all are actually suing to get somebody removed off of ballots? You know what I'm saying? Force this man to close down his campaign. At the time, I didn't really think much of it, right? But the whole Donald Trump thing, we all know that was shenanigans. We all know that was just to like prevent him from really being able to run again, trying to get him locked up as soon as possible, get him tied up in courts.
Now the DOJ dropped all charges.
Bro, ain't got a choice.
It's you know what I'm saying? Like,
ain't got a choice.
This is what I think about the Democratic Party. I'm going to blame a lot on the party, and I'm also going to blame a lot on Joe Biden.
Damn, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Because Joe made a comment before he was elected that he would be a one-term president, and he didn't stand on business.
He did?
Yeah, he made a comment. Now, he didn't say that for sure he was going to be a one-term president, but pretty much insinuating that he's not looking for 2 terms.
Yeah.
He's pretty much, you know, he knows his age. He's looking for one, you know what I'm saying? And I think he got into office, and the reason why I blame Joe Biden is that Joe Biden should have known And I'm sure that there was some discussions, whispers of like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? You know what I'm saying? You know that they have tough conversations within him and his camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure somebody brought up, like, are you sure you want to do this? And he decided, like, yeah, he's gonna keep doing it. Them in the Democratic Party, for them not to understand that, hey, what is gonna be our exit plan or a plan B if this doesn't work out? Because I'm sure they saw some signs before that debate.
I mean, he's tripping over stairs, turning,
falling asleep,
trying to shake somebody's hand, but turning in the wrong direction.
It looked like he shitted on himself one time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
showed you. You was kind of like, this look bad. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
it's one of them things where it's just like, come on, man. Obviously, he's not all the way there as he was when he first got into office, which is okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that we didn't even have an exit plan, like, okay, when this happens, we're going to immediately go into break glass. We're going to run some type of primary, have about 4 to 6 of these individuals. You've already spoken to them, letting them know, hey, gear up for a possible, run, and, if need be, get this thing going in like 2 weeks, maybe a month, and we can get the plan, get the ball rolling. Y'all didn't do any of that. And Kamala, it took her too long to finally catch her stride. She was doing things like not going on. She decided to go on podcasts, but she was trying to pick and choose what podcast she was going to go on and try to dictate, too much of the flow what the podcast was going to be. Donald Trump got on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I know this may seem like it's not a big deal. I think it's a big deal.
I think it's a big deal that Kamala didn't go on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Because the Joe Rogan podcast, and he made it very clear, he was kind of even trying to market it like, hey, just come on here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we're just going to have a conversation. We don't need to talk politics.
Yeah, I'm saying it's for the American people to get to know who you are.
The same way Trump was just on there shooting the shit, just having don't get me wrong, there was some political questions. I mean, obviously, maybe 4 or 5, but Joe Rogan was not pressing. He wasn't fact checking. He wasn't doing any of that. Like, hey, tell me about your kids. Tell me about your, you know what I'm saying, your day to day. How was it when you got into office for the first time? Like, what do you plan on doing over here? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were just shooting the shit, bro. And it made him seem very regular. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't sitting there yelling any racial things or this, that, or third, transgender this, or, anything divisive. Kamala should have took that opportunity and went on there and just had the conversation. She tried to say that they needed to be 1 hour. Wanted Joe Rogan to come to their location instead of her coming to his set. Like, you're doing too much. Yeah. You're doing too much. If you're gonna make a podcast tour, then you need to know you got to hit these certain podcasts. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Especially like with that, I feel like strategically she probably thought that the Joe Rogan pod is a demographic of people she's not going to win over no matter.
But you went on Fox News.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go into the lion's den, when it comes to
Fox News viewers are actually much older people who she probably could win over. Joe Rogan's pod is conservative.
I don't think anybody watching Fox News, and I'm sorry, I 100% disagree with you.
Okay, I get it. Cool, they wouldn't have did that, but I'm saying the demographic of the Joe Rogan pod is entirely different from the demographic of people who watch Fox News. The people who watch Joe Rogan pod are young men, conservative, libertarian like type of people. She had no shot at winning those type of people over. So, with that being said, I don't know if it would have did her any good, to be honest with you, but I do feel like had she went on there, it would at least show that like, hey, like I'm about this tough life though. You get what I'm saying? Like I think that would have, but ultimately
she's willing to have adversarial conversations.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think that anything would have helped her because the reality is just that no matter when she spoke, she never spoke on her positions very well. And so at the end of the day, whether or not people realize this, but you could tell when somebody's faking it to make it. You know what I'm saying? And she just didn't ever really sound like, like she knew exactly what she wanted to do. Trump says a lot of shit, but at least he believes himself. You get what I'm saying? She never sounded confident in her economic plan. She didn't really have one. She just said like, we're going to go after price gouging. Well, again, how are you going to do that? You get what I'm saying? Like what tools, what resources are you going to do? And I know it's unfair because Donald Trump doesn't ever really get pressured like that. But when he gets pressured about it, he says, well, we're going to drill. We're going to ramp up energy and whatchamacallit production and so on and so forth, right?
Open up fracking.
Yeah, he keeps bringing up this tariff thing. We know it's a bad idea. I think he pulled that shit out of his ass. I don't think he's actually going to implement it to the level at which he says he is.
But he has an answer.
But he needed something. And that's what he came up with.
When I was pledging, one of the things that they taught us is that, like, hey, if you're going to be wrong, just say it confidently.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
like, oh, nigga,
like, say it with your chest.
For that.
Oh, shoot, which one?
Round of applause. Run a round of applause. Oh, fuck it. That'll work.
Fatality.
And we just running through shit.
But
like
Trump will get on there and he says it with his chest every single time. So whether you think it's bullshit, it don't make sense, or whatever the case may be, you like, you know what? You just feel like you ready to go out there and fight for some type of resolve of the issue. So, but look, man, I do think that the Democratic Party should have been more prepared for a situation like this. And even when
I think that's a lot to ask, but I can agree.
But even when it happened, one of the things that I was arguing is like, look, make it seem like it's a fair fight. They should have had some type of primary.
Yeah.
Get 4 people, man. I get that it's going to be a rush situation. You could get, 3 other people that you just know for a fact we don't know anything about, but just get on stage and just have an argument for 2-3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Do something, because us as some people will be able to attach ourselves and be like, you know what? We think that she was the best out of the individuals, that y'all came up with.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't do that. It took her and honestly, the problem with not doing a primary is that it took her too long to figure out what she could come out and confidently say.
Yeah.
And because she was unable to do so, she caught her stride maybe in the last 30 to 45 days. It was too late. It was way too late. You know what I'm saying? And I will be honest, Trump having the assassination attempt and getting up and yelling, fight, fight, fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. That resonated with a lot of motherfuckers who do not look like us.
Mm-hmm.
And to be real with you, I can honestly say, when I was watching some of these football games and these commercials would come on, I'm like, hey, man, this nigga got a nice trailer. You know what I'm saying?
No,
bro, he put this.
It's an iconic picture.
Bro, he put this stuff together. And it'll be like a 45-second long commercial. Yeah. And like, I'm talking about, he had it, and I'm like, dog, I'm ready to like low key, you know what I'm saying? Go through a brick wall for this man. You know, but
it's a tough picture though. To know that motherfucker just got shot. If it's real, right? Jury's still out on that shit.
Hey, chill out, dog.
I'm dead ass, but you can believe
somebody literally died behind him.
Yeah, that's what happens when bullets come through.
But you're saying like it might be glass? Is that what
you telling me that whoever charged the guy to whoever's in charge, not in charge, whoever put the guy up to shooting at the 45th, that he decided that they cared about what was going to happen to people?
Okay.
I'm saying.
I mean, look, man, it's 10-4 hat situation. I get it. Either way, the scenario.
Just because somebody passed away, which I'm saying rest in peace to that person, doesn't change my thoughts. It's equally as fucked up whether or not it was real or a hoax. It's still just as bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's all I'm saying. With that being said, I will say this, man. Look, here's the thing, man. To get down to the nitty gritty, getting back to the topic, it took too long for Joe Biden to bow out, and then by the time she got in, I don't know if she even had time to run long enough to really make any real damage. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, I now believe that month where she was trying to get away from interviews, she was trying to come up with her policies and plan, right? Because obviously this was last minute, and maybe to your account, you know what I'm saying, the Democrats should have been a little bit better and more prepared.
She should have threw Joe Biden under the bus, and she was unwilling to do that.
She should have.
She should have threw him under the bus.
But again, the reality is I don't know why they're throwing Joe Biden under the bus. The only thing, to me personally, the only thing the Democrats really should have threw Joe Biden under the bus about is the illegal immigrant situation and the border.
And honestly, I think that would really help.
Yeah.
I also think that the transgender commercial that was going out there was a problem, because for common individuals, it just looks bad when it's being, and again, it was not true, the same policy under Trump, so me and you can understand it, but you have to understand there's a lot of people just looking at that commercial like, wait, the Democrats want there to be sex changes for prisoners? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a problem. And it's like, she never definitively came out, like her response to that question was too political. And it was more so like, we're going to do what it is under the law. Like, yo, it's okay to come out and say, like, that is not what you're, running on. That is not what taxpayer dollars you're hoping taxpayer dollars goes towards, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And then go on and say, like, be a human and give us your thoughts on the situation. Like, You don't have to have this political response every time. It makes it seem like the commercial is real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she just wasn't authentic, dog, and that's one of the things that we argued about so many times.
I'm saying that's going to my second point, is the fact that like she just never really came off as being genuine. No matter how much you want to say, I didn't watch the Shannon Sharp interview. I tried to start a little bit of the Donald Trump and Joe Rogan pod, but 20 minutes into that shit, and I couldn't take it no more. That I don't know.
You gotta start speeding stuff up. You can't watch on
not even speeding stuff up, bro. Not to get off topic here. I don't know how anybody watches a Joe Rogan pod. They just talk about nothing. I don't know if it's just me and I need structure, I need a flow, and I need like the conversation to be going somewhere. They really
don't be talking about that.
But they don't be talking about shit on that
podcast could be 3 hours long.
I do not. Niggas,
I don't think they really go into it with like a subject, like a plan.
And this nigga is the #1 podcast in the world, bro. I don't get it.
It's like a truck driver's dream to just press play and just listen to like bullshit for 3 hours. I did watch the whole Donald Trump joke.
I've tried to listen to multiple Joe Rogan pods. I do not see how this nigga is so entertaining to y'all. But you know, fuck it. I'm of a different skin tone, so maybe I operate a little differently. I swear to God, bro. Like, nigga just be on that bitch just rambling. Like, nigga, okay. Anyway, with that being said though, she just did come authentic. And I think third, and to me, this is the most important, although in all honesty, I think if she had ran stronger in these areas, I do think that she would have garnered more votes, but I don't know how close she would have been to winning. Because again, I still think that she just didn't have no time to campaign. It took her too long to come up with her plan or whatever. She was clearly dodging questions, and now I can believe that she was dodging it because she was trying to get her plan together because they weren't prepared for Joe Biden just step down. I don't think they were prepared for Joe Biden to do as bad as he did in his in the first debate. And that's where shit got hectic. It's like, okay, well, if we ain't trying to succeed this shit back Donald Trump, we need to do something now. He got pushed out. All that shit was just fugazi and really kind of fucked up the shit. But the third reason, and this has more to do with just what I've alluded to since like I've started paying more attention to politics, is the Democratic Party is not the same party that we believed it to be. They're not the party of the working people anymore. And that shit is very much clear through this complete and total annihilation of, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, this voting that just happened. People do not believe in the Democratic Party. And I don't see why you would, considering the fact that, like, if you just put the money where your mouth is, bro, like, she raised $1 billion.
Yeah.
I need y'all to understand that real quick. Like, when you hear $1 billion, like, we become so desensitized to like numbers that it doesn't really like magnify on the level that like it should.
She raised the most money at any campaign in history.
Yes, bro. Right? She's the first $1 billion campaign raiser, dog.
So when anybody gets out there, don't say that she didn't have people, giving their hard-earned money trying to get her to win. Because, mind you, you can only give a certain amount of max donations, even as a corporation.
Not through super PACs. Not through super PACs and the whatchamacallit creation fund. That's how you get to $1 billion.
But she did get a lot of small donations as well.
Okay.
She raised a lot of bread. But I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay. Anyway, you get to $1 billion through institutional and corporate money. And it's become increasingly clear now that the same money that was flowing in through the Republican side is now making its way in through the Democratic side, because eventually you start backing the winners. When you taking too many L's, you start finding the winner, you eventually start getting into their pockets. It's just how the world works.
Did you see how many of the like company owners and CEOs came out and like congratulated Donald Trump? Mm-hmm. We've seen like Microsoft, Meta, Zuckerberg, and Apple, and all. I just found that very interesting. It was like they copied and pasted like through all their messages.
But I know you probably go back to every presidential election and find that shit from every company, bro.
I just thought it was interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
When I saw it, I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
I know that y'all weren't really like rooting for dude like that, but
yeah. I mean, listen, that to me is just corporate shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just gonna congratulate the.
But I think this would be a good time to read off Bernie Sanders' statement.
Yeah. So Bernie Sanders released a statement today. We're gonna read it so we can get more into what we're alluding to right now.
So this was November 6th. This is yesterday when he provided this statement from Burlington, Vermont. Senator Sanders today released his following statement in response to the outcome of the 2024 presidential election. It should come as no great surprise that the Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class. Now it's the Latino and Black working as well. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenally well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth inequality than ever before. Unbelievably, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are actually lower than they were 50 years ago. Today, despite an explosion in technology and the worker productivity, many young people will have a worse standard of living than their parents, and many of them worry that the artificial intelligence and robotics will make a bad situation even worse. Today, despite spending far more than per capita than any other country, we remain the only wealthy nation not to guarantee health care to all the human right as a human right, and we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. We alone among major countries cannot even guarantee paid family medical leave. Today, despite strong opposition from a majority of Americans, we continue to spend billions funding the extremist Netanyahu government all out war against the Palestinian people, which has led to the horrific humanitarian disaster as mass malnutrition and the starvation of thousands of children. Will the big money interests and well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from the disastrous? I'm sorry, y'all. Campaign. Will they understand the pain of political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are experiencing? Do they have any ideas as to how we can take the increasingly powerful oligarchy, which has so much economic and political power? Probably not. In the coming weeks and months, those of us concerned about grassroots democracy and economic justice need to have very serious political discussions. Stay tuned. Man, Bernie Sanders, to be honest with y'all, I think he needs to be one of the founding fathers for the new Democratic Party. The man knows what he's talking about. If you're going to be extreme about a few issues, then let's be extreme. If you noticed, he really talked about 2 to 3 things.
That's all Bernie Sanders has ever talked about.
And those 2 to 3 things should be what the Democratic Party fight on. Mm-hmm. It does not mean that there won't be other social issues like the LGBTQ, women's rights, things of that nature that maybe you can just, briefly discuss or highlight. Mm-hmm. But that should not be the foundation, the pillar of the Democratic Party. Wages for the common folk should be something that they should definitely want to discuss. Healthcare should be, we're talking about change how healthcare is done. We've gone in the right direction with Obamacare, but healthcare should be another one. And then also, let's stop funding wars that are not on American soil as best as possible. Obviously, we need to do certain things, what I'm saying, to protect our interests. But without a shadow of a doubt, the average American does not want money to be flowing away in wars that we don't agree with, when here in America, we are struggling as a people. People in California can just go and steal, however much they want to, and go to prison or go to jail, and then within 12 hours get released. There's so many things happening internally that we're trying to fix problems overseas that have nothing to do with us. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, listen, the reason as to why the Democrats fail, and I mean, honestly, if we want to get to like what I believe personally, sure, this has a lot to do with it, but in 4 years they'll change their message. Donald Trump, if he follows suit of what most government and bureaucrats do, he'll run up the deficit and debt again, and life will get infinitely worse, and then we'll just switch. That's what we do as a country. Somebody gets 8 years, and after a while, we think they suck. Although Obama's 8 years definitely didn't suck, but Obama also had the privilege of coming out of the worst recession we've had since the Great Depression. You know what I'm saying? So in which case he had that benefit, and that's why when people say like, Donald Trump was doing great with the economy, Donald Trump didn't do nothing but inherit a good economy. You get what I'm saying? Like he didn't. It's just like if you become a general manager of a company that's already doing $5 billion. Your goal is to get it to 6 and 7. Like you're already taking a well-oiled machine and you're just improving upon that. But with that being said, my thing here is the message that I want to get across is one, is understand that these parties as a whole, they're only as good as how much we hold them accountable. So if you just vote people in and then just sit back and then just let
Every
them,
4 years,
you know what I'm
you're not
saying?
doing anything.
Yeah, if you're not on their ass, if you're not creating social pressure, like if you just one of them people that like constantly arguing with people on the internet, oh well, this ain't getting done because of the Republicans, and then Republicans on it, this ain't getting done because of Democrats, and y'all don't understand how it's quite literally the government as a whole that's the problem and what drives up inflation. Like that's the biggest issue, that's the biggest concern here. I do think that at some point in time, though, the Democrats did have the best interest of the working class people. Although, you know, the whole Bernie Sanders, like, you know, $15 minimum wage, that wasn't realistic. You know what I'm saying? And although I love Bernie Sanders.
But that's okay that it not being realistic to me.
Yeah.
Is when
I hear you, but also I think that we now every day we become more educated on how money works. You know what I'm saying? Back when Bernie Sanders was spitting that $15 an hour shit, like I was for that shit. I was all like, fucking right. Like people should be making at least $15 an hour. But I knew nothing about how money works. I knew nothing about I wasn't reading P&Ls. I wasn't seeing like how much money actually goes to the bottom line. I wasn't seeing all of this. Now I see it, right? So like the thing is the real change is going to come when we start getting people who aren't just promising miraculous and amazing things and actually starts being grounded in reality. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what the Democrats, to me, need to get back to.
I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and I was like, you know what? If we could just have somebody come out here and just say, like, hey, look, guys, these are things I'm running on, but it's the responsibility of everyday Americans to understand that the next 4 years, next 4 years that I'm going to be in office, it's going to be tough.
It's just going to be hard.
We're going to go through a transition. I'm not about to flow a whole bunch of money into your pockets.
Yeah.
I'm not about to do all these things. I'm letting everybody know we need to buckle down. Let's tighten up. We need a budget. We need to do certain things.
That's when shit's going to get better.
Because, we're going to have to, we need to, right now, our credit card is, we've maxed it out. Matter of fact, we've hit over the limit on our credit card. We need to pay back some things. So everybody, your pockets, protect them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Understand, let's be smart. I'm not saying don't go out there and enjoy yourself and things of that nature, but hey, things might get tough for the next 4 years. Prepare yourself. Put your seatbelt on. It's going to be a tough ride. Without that kind of honest conversation, which is part of why I'm like, man, Kamala, get out there and like say some of these things. And it's okay to say that.
But see, the parties don't want, listen, that's why I told you, did you hear them talking about balancing the budget? Did you hear them talking about cutting back spending? I mean, I heard it from like Elon's side, but he's on Twitter. Like I didn't hear it from Donald Trump. I didn't hear it from, you know what I'm saying, JD Vance. I didn't like the issue. Nobody wants to address the problem because nobody wants to be the person to tell the American people that I'm gonna have to take some shit away. You get what I'm saying? Like, and so it's the same thing, right? Like if you max out every credit card in your house, your kids used to go to Disney World every summer and shit, you eventually gotta sit them down and say, hey, look, here's the thing. Y'all probably ain't gonna get Nikes and 4 or 5 pair of shoes this year. You gonna have to get 2. You get some Adidas. We're gonna hit these outlets. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, you have a real conversation with your family. You let them know what the financial standing of it is, right? Like I think that we hear these numbers all the time, and we don't understand the how much $1 trillion is. Like it's crazy.
It becomes a number that we just like.
Yeah, it's
just throw it away, and I'm like, $4 trillion. So what?
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, that's a lot of money.
No, it's more money than you will.
Especially,
dog.
You know, the same person I was having a conversation about. We're talking about inflation, and I was saying that everybody for some reason thinks like putting money away like these new savings accounts that are giving you these long-term yield savings accounts, like they're really saving them a lot of money. Like, oh my God, 5%, 6%. All they're doing is keeping up with today's inflation, and that's all that is. They're pretty much
real inflation though,
but pretty much what they're saying is like, hey, the $100 that you have right now is still gonna be worth $100 next year. You know what I'm saying? If you keep it with us, and so that's like best case scenario, right?
Best case.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where if that's what y'all are thinking is a good idea, they're pretty much to your face telling you that your money today is not going to be the money what it's worth next year or even 6 months from now. They're letting you know. So the bank is because what they're doing is hoping to make about 15, 16% and cut you back about 5%. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them things like, bro, we have a responsibility as people, as individuals. Stop just wholeheartedly, blindly checking a box and trusting the government. We need to start balancing our budget as well. We need to do our job in our homes, you know what I'm saying, as we also go to the ballot box. And fuck all this social shit. because the social shit is nothing but an emotional distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Make that very clear. In my opinion, and I'm not saying that it's all of the reasons, but the social shit got nothing to do with what is keeping you up at night and what is making you get up in the morning. The first thing the majority of us think about when we wake up in the morning is our money. Because we got to get up and go to work. You know what I'm saying? So we think about our money. We don't think about, oh my God, my fucking reproductive rights. And, even though I don't have bearing a child right now. We're not thinking about gay shit because even though in our household, there's no gay people in our household. We're not thinking about all these other dumb things. We're thinking about our money. So why is it that we are not taking that shit seriously when we go into the ballot box? And I feel like that's what happened this year. Somebody at least was, even though whether you agree or disagree with how he's going to do it, the motherfucker kept having a confident response when it came to the economy and how we're going to possibly do things when it comes to money. Whereas the other person was not able to distance herself from the status quo, and that's the problem. But you know what I'm saying? We are where we are now, and I feel like Bernie Sanders, the Democratic Party, the leadership needs to call in Bernie, get his ideas, as extreme as they may be, and feel like, hey, how can we get the watered down version into our platform next year? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we start getting what he is saying? Maybe we're not at 15. Maybe we say we're gonna bump it up to 11 or $12 an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is, not to cut you off, but people already aren't making minimum wage. Like, jobs know they can't get you in at minimum wage anymore, right? So, to be honest with you, although the minimum wage still says like $7.25, McDonald's starting you off at $12, $13 an hour now, right? So, like the thing is here is
you might as well run on it.
I mean, the problem is, and this is my thing, right? This is why it's so hard for me to even like get behind anybody, or even. And I told you it's three people who I was paying the most attention to, and that was Robert Kennedy, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Nikki Haley, and all three of them was running on the platform of how government overspending is what has caused these high ass prices. And until we get that shit under control, like Nikki Haley did a whole hour-long speech about how like the amount of money that we printed from 2020 through 2022 is going to cause devastations for generations to come.
I'll be honest, I think Nikki Haley's going to run next time.
Bro, listen.
She's getting my vote.
Swear to God, if Nikki Haley would have been on the ballot, she'd have had my vote. Like, unquestionably, it wouldn't even been a conversation anymore. But the problem is again, you need somebody who don't care about it, like how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Understand that, like, I'm doing this. It may not seem like it's good right now, but I promise you, like, in the future, like, you'll see that like things will get better. And that's the unfortunate part, right? Like, I don't think neither one of the parties want to change the status quo, right? Like, government and the way the government works now, the way these ballots work is you get people to the polls by offering to do things for them. You know what I'm saying? Being hard and having tough conversations, that doesn't really resonate with people. You know what I'm saying? And I think this might be because like nobody ever does a good enough job really explaining to the camera, or is even taking a job to explain to the American people how the government has been fucking shit up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to take accountability for it. And so the issue is it's just another cycle. I don't know what's going to happen. I pray that Donald Trump does a good job, but if he doesn't, we'll be right back at the ballot box in 4 years, and the masses will be voting mostly Democrat because we gave a Republican a chance, and he fucked that up. So here we go again. Like, it's just a cycle, rinse, repeat, start this shit all over again. So with all that being said, I think the Democrats should take the approach of being realistic. Like, fuck all the bullshit. Fuck telling people how much you want to do for them and give back to them. Sure, there's things that we absolutely want from the government since we're paying tax dollars, but also, hey man, like here we go. We gonna tighten up. We gonna cut off spending this, and here. And the thing is they used to tighten up the budgets because there was a way to do it because they would cut back on something, right? Like the Democrats would cut back on the military budget, right? And so that's how they would cut back spending to bring up, you know what I'm saying, the deficit. Republicans wouldn't, right? They get back in, they boost up, you know what I'm saying, they cut taxes and then they would boost up the defense budget and they would run the deficit right back up, right? And then the Democrat would come in and they would solve that shit by cutting spending. Like, and that's why I said, like, to me, now that I look back through history, I don't know if the Republicans have ever been fiscally responsible. Like, I'm just being honest, right? That seemed like the greatest myth of all time because, like, I don't know if the Republicans have ever been fiscally responsible. But again, this is history, right? We're talking about going forward. So I'm saying they should get back to being honest, right? But see, that's the thing. in order for them to do that, they got to stop giving military aid. They got to stop spending money and handing it away. And I don't think they want to do that.
You definitely can't give away money to other people when you have problems yourself. You know what I'm saying? We had this discussion a lot on the pod about lending out money and loaning money to people. Jesus. How the fuck are you doing that stuff when your credit cards ain't paid?
Bro, you 35 trillion in debt. How you loaning money?
You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make no sense. Like, hey, we ain't got it right now. We can't help you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can't. I'm so sorry. We got some guns and stockpile that we might be able to give you.
Might be able to hand
you know what I'm
saying?
saying? But we can't give you no money. We can't. You know what I'm saying? So
we can only sell you stuff.
Yeah. If you want, we can give you a discount.
Yeah. We'll tighten these margins up a little bit, but
that's the best we can do.
No, listen.
But so if you want to do this war with them, like, it's gonna cost you some money.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna cost us some money. But what I also say is my next question to you would be is that what do you think is the future for the Republican Party, and who do you think are the future faces of the Democratic Party? Not Republican, but the Democratic Party. Do you think that Kamala Harris should run again or has an opportunity to run again? I listened to her speech, her secession speech. It sounds like she's kind of gearing up for a possibility of running again in the next 4 years, like leaving that door open. What are your thoughts?
I think she should still try again, especially if it was like she believes that she got, you know what I'm saying, she had got the nomination. I think, I don't know, man. If you ask me who is the best fit in the Democratic Party, I would tell you is Pete Buttigieg, whatever.
Pete Buttigieg, but Buttigieg. But me and you both know that that's probably not gonna happen.
I hear all that though, but
I think he'll be great. I think Better or Work would be great as well.
I think that he could win people over by being realistic and being the type of person who, like, Americans want to hear from. I think at the end of the day, we done got to a point to where now we just tired of getting political bullshit and we just want to get something real. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said,
he is a very real and honest person when he talks. He's bro. He's very articulate. When he speaks,
incredibly intelligent, dog. And so I think Cory Booker for a while was that guy. I don't know where he done fell off to the face of the planet, because I ain't seen Gang in a minute. But with that being said, who knows, man? I don't know who needs to be the face of the party. Maybe they need to bring in somebody new, somebody fresh, somebody like a JD Vance that people don't know, who can get in front of the camera and really spit that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I know that the Democratic Party is going to have to do a full about face in order to start winning back the working class and American people, because no matter how much they want to try to, like, shine this piece of turd up, we all know that, like, this shit is, like, gone down the rails, and the reality is people are no longer buying what you're selling.
How would you feel if there was like a Pete Buttigieg? Because obviously, if there's a JD Vance and JD Vance and Nikki Haley run for a Republican primary, let's say JD Vance wins, Nikki Haley is not picked vice president or anything like that. How would you feel if it was a Pete Buttigieg and Nikki Haley ticket? Do you think that's something that the Democratic Party should do?
But I mean,
because it was almost done before. John McCain almost picked a Democrat or an independent as his VP.
I mean, to me personally, I feel like they should change that shit to where, like, I feel like personally, the way they shouldn't have running mates. The loser should be the vice president. Like, that's how that shit should work, to maintain balance.
No, you can't do that. The reason why you can't do that, and I'll tell you why.
Why not?
The possibility of the person wanting to take your life. I think that if you were to do, I mean, that's just the reality. I could not.
I mean, I gotta believe in you.
I couldn't trust, bro. I think about Joe Biden being president and Donald Trump being VP.
But what
I'm saying? It's like,
but if you want to kill somebody to be president, what would keep any vice president from doing it?
No doubt. But I'm just saying that, like, knowing that this was my enemy for real, like known enemy.
But they're not really. No, they're not really enemies, bro. Listen, I'm
just telling you.
But hear me out here, just before you go forward. There's a video circulating around the day after, like, Chuck Schumer and, like, Donald Trump were, like, bickering over the microphone through, like, separate, like, whatchamacallits. They was at a ball at a table, like, drinking and laughing it up. This shit is not real, bro.
Yes, but listen, it's not the individual that I think is going to be planning for my life to be taken. It's the individuals that is connected to said person. It is the behind the scenes people who are with Trump, knowing that like, damn, we're just one bullet away, one life away, one, fuck up away from getting this person into office. So with that being said, like,
I don't know.
And I know that's real tinfoil hat, but I'm also, but I'm also just saying that like I do think that there are people in a back room that can do some shit without, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling you, if it's me, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. But if I choose somebody like a Nikki Haley and I'm a Pete Buttigieg, and it's like, hey, Nikki, I want you to be on my ticket. I want to unify America, and I want to be the first person, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm trying to take the credit myself, but I would like, America is ready for something like this. Let's present this kind of ticket. We really don't disagree on much, even though we're on two different parties. Let's go out there with a unified message. And these are the 3 or 4 things that we're going to, matter of fact, it might even help because you're going to, a lot of the sub issues, you're not even going to really worry about those because the things that you agree on are the things that both of you guys are going to go out there and campaign on for a year and a half. You get what I'm saying?
It would make sense. I don't know if he would do it, but that would be, I would tell you that the reason as to why you think that Pete wouldn't probably work in America, that would be a very strong bat to swing because like now you're showing that you're willing to work with the opposition.
That's why I said it. That's why I said it for Pete, because I do think that Pete is going to have to do something extreme because of his sexual orientation. He's going to have to do something extreme that really shows like, hey, say what y'all want about me. I'm wanting to get the fucking job done. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever y'all want to, if that's why you don't want to vote for me, this eliminates that because it's like, hey, look, like I'm willing to work with whomever, you know what I'm saying, to get the job done. And I know that Nikki Haley, just from who she is and kind of how she presents herself, I can see her saying like, you know what, I'll work with you. Like, let's do this. Because she's also somebody who will call you out if need be. Like she don't care.
Yeah. Okay. And also
that would be a beautiful ticket.
Bro.
That would be did we fix America? Did we fix America?
We're only gonna fix America if they stop spending money.
Did we fix America?
No, we didn't.
We didn't.
But we gave a pretty good ticket though, for sure. But that's only in a world of like.
Hey, Democrats, if y'all want to come, just come over here and work with us, talk to us. We got you.
But see, by that point, once we get to that point that you're mentioning, we're no longer concerned about Republicans and Democrats, right? Like we're also now as people are trying to get elected to really get shit done. You know what I'm saying?
And it would be so nice because Nikki can go talk to Republicans and be like, hey, let's get this bill done. We're not going to add bullshit. He can go talk to Democrats. Hey, let's get this bill done. We're not going to put in our propaganda and all this bullshit on this bill. Like, this is going to be a clean cut, straight to the point bill. You know what I'm saying? To get this thing done. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I think that it could really unify the House and the Senate. Who really cares?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who wins the House? Who wins the Senate? Like, everybody got skin in the game.
I mean, listen, I'm not against it. It makes sense. I'm just trying to imagine a world where here's what I think though, right? If there's a possibility of that shit occurring, I think it might happen now because here's the thing. Tulsi Gabbard, she was a Democrat. Robert Kennedy was a Democrat. Vivek Ramaswamy is a libertarian. Everyone who's like in like Donald Trump's corner, it's pretty much his group of people was probably the most diverse of like any presidential candidate ever, right? Like typically it's nothing but Democrats and then nothing but Republicans, right? He actually had people from like other parties and other walks of the political spectrum. And so with that being said, that could be the start of like, the future because again,
that would be such a beautiful future.
We know this shit doesn't go anywhere as long as they keep bickering and fighting and not trying to help each other. So the only way to get shit done and that we can hope for is if us as the people demand that they fucking work together. Like I said with the whole border thing, right? Like when they finally submitted a bill and then they want to take care of it, okay, y'all sit down, y'all hash that shit out, and then y'all pass that shit. And then we get 30,000 more Border Patrol agents and we figure that shit out, man. Like
but you have a party who's literally like saying that we're not signing it. It's a good bill. We're not signing it. No, we don't want you to have credit.
It's crazy
for like, helping the problem.
But I'm saying that's where like
we're not going to get the job done for the people. We're going to hurt ourselves.
That's where
so we can say that you're the one. It was under your tutelage that the shit fucked up. It's crazy.
It is, dog. Think about where we're at as far as the political spectrum goes, right? And so, with that being said, like I said, the best hope we have is that not just unifying America, you motherfuckers need to unify. Y'all need to figure out how to work with each other, okay? Because if like if it's like with anything, dog, if you got a job, you got to figure out how to work with people, bro. You cannot just be sitting up here doing. Man, I don't want to go 10-4 hat again, but I just feel like they be playing. And they just be doing that shit on purpose. So
that's not 10-4 hat. They definitely be playing.
I'm saying,
they definitely
dog,
get up there and like they purposely try to like, you know what I'm saying, we're not gonna get shit done.
It just a lot of these old motherfuckers gotta go, man. We gotta get some new younger blood up in there. We gotta start asking people, we gotta start challenging these people, man. We gotta start demanding more of them. We gotta get Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott the fuck up out of here. I hate you niggas so much for voting for them. I give y'all Donald Trump. I swear to God, I ain't even tripping on y'all.
I'm not mad on Donald Trump.
But dog, the fact that y'all keep voting for fucking Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott is so fucking frustrating. When we saw that
Ted Cruz won, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's when like I was like, all right.
I wanted to throw the iron through the TV. I wanted to throw the iron through the TV. Let's get up out of here. Dog, Republicans don't even like Ted Cruz. What are y'all doing? Jesus Christ, man. It's got me frustrated. I'm mad here. That's the shit that I was the most upset about.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like set it off as motherfuckers. I can't believe y'all keep voting for this motherfucker, man. Jesus. Okay.
But look, man, I'm gonna say this for everybody out there who's having an emotional reaction after this.
Let's talk about them niggas.
After this, look, man, y'all really just got to take a deep breath. You know,
swear to God.
For real, get off of social media.
Dog, go take some grass.
Take a deep breath. You know what I'm saying? Go have a drink. You know what I'm saying? Take yourself out to dinner. Do something. Just relax. Everything is going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump, you know, somebody voted for Trump does not mean that they're misogynistic. Does not mean they hate women.
Well, hold on. Because before you go on, I do want to throw this in there before you get to your point. A lot of people are, especially people of color, they're upset because of the possibility of Project 2025 getting implemented. So now you can continue based off of that.
Okay. Because somebody voted for Trump, it could have been easily a one issue vote for them. That could have been the Israel-Palestine situation.
And a lot of people voted because of that.
It could have been simply because of the fact that, you know, people were just wanting somebody different from maybe a Joe Biden administration, and Kamala was unwilling to say that she was going to do something different. I think it says a lot. That Hispanics went out there and they were pretty much split 50-50 on voting for Trump and Kamala, men and women. Latinos, I mean, sorry, I don't know if Hispanics is a derogatory term for some. But for Latinos to go out there and vote 50-50 between Trump and Kamala, that says a lot. That means that there are a lot of people who are not happy with what is going on. They don't care about the things that maybe you care about. Mm-hmm. This reproductive, you know, issue that is going out there. The reality is that Trump nor Kamala could do anything about it, whether you voted for either one. They can say that they want something to be done, but there's a lot more that has to go into place for things to happen. So for them, maybe that was not their issue. Maybe the border was a problem. And the reality is that Biden, at the end of the day, whether he had opposition or not, didn't get anything done. He didn't make it a big enough deal. So there's a lot of reasons why Trump got into office. So don't go out there and say that, like, if you voted for Trump, we can't be friends, we can't do this, or is that a third? Like, yo, the whole point of all this is that you can be able to have somebody in your home that you disagree with, but at the end of the day, you still work with and can still love and care about. Like, that's what makes America so great. So it is fine. Neither one of us voted for Trump, but trust me when I say that it is okay that Trump is here. We're not gonna stress ourselves out.
The world gonna keep spinning. I mean, that's just the reality. Like, you still got to get up and go to work.
It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is okay. Yes, are some issues going to be hurtful? That is a fact. But every single election cycle, there's going to be something done where there's going to be issues that, you know what I'm saying, are not going to go your way, and and so be it. You got to keep trucking.
I'm gonna slightly disagree but I'm not a heavily emotional person, but I can read things and see things from an unemotional perspective. So I can tell the difference between somebody who voted for Trump because there were certain issues that they cared about and somebody who voted for Trump because they was low-key like on some hate shit. So, and them the type of people that, like, of course, like, who wouldn't want to distance themselves from people who you can clearly tell took on hateful rhetoric during this political cycle. And in that case, I understand. But just saying someone who casted their vote for Trump is a hateful person, I think is disingenuous and just flat out ignorant, to be honest with you, because the reality is he was able to tap into something. I don't know what it is that people love, that people can gravitate to, but for whatever reason, he captured the hearts of those people. Or in which case, and plenty of people tell you, I wish I had a better option, but the other option I just couldn't vote for, and that makes sense to some people, and that's a lot of y'all. That's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? Kamala wasn't a top ticket person. You know what I'm saying, from the Democratic Party, but guess what? You know what I'm saying, the other option just wasn't.
If I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to Kamala, like, she ran before. She did one of the worst jobs when running. Like, you know what I'm saying? People did not like her. So you cannot be surprised that she's here now, unopposed, was not elected into this position to run for office in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Did not go through a primary, was not tested, for her to do bad. Maybe it was just the fact that, like, hey, there's other factors in which she did not win. And you cannot win a country, you know, with 3 months just trying to convince them that you're something different, when a couple years ago they did not want you to be, they didn't want you. And that was the Democratic Party didn't want you. People did not vote for you to be on the ticket as a Democratic, you know, president. They didn't want you. So you can't expect that in 3 months that she's going to figure out a way to convince everybody. And she was not prepared. She did a bad job.
Yeah, and I also think that not enough people are educated enough to understand that these elections come down to the independent voter, the actual people who actually really vote. They're not they're not affiliated with any party. They might lean left or right, but they're very much centered on issues. You know what I'm saying? They probably do support abortion to an extent, or pro-choice to an extent. They probably do support, you know what I'm saying, immigration and asylum-seeking immigration.
But it's not the reason why they go into the...
But again, you're going to have your top issue, and then at the end of the day, those people vote with their gut, right? So I've watched both these people. Here's what I'm saying. I'm rocking with this person more because my gut is telling me this person is probably up for the job and more prepared for it than this person is. And that's who decides the election. Y'all that vote Democrat every year, y'all going to always vote Democrat. Those people that vote Republican every year, they're going to always vote Republican. That's y'all not the people who decide the election. I don't know who needs to tell y'all that and how long it's taking for y'all to hear that, but I need to let you know, you are not the person who gets to decide who gets elected. It is the independent voter who decides, hey, listen, I done watched both these candidates. I'm not really feeling this one. That's the reason why we keep swapping.
Me and Raph are probably good examples of that, because Raph was getting ready to vote for RFK. And swear to you, before the assassination attempt, I was getting ready to vote for Trump. And I hated, one of the issues that I really hate about Trump is not even any of the political issues, it's Central Park 5 and what he did with that. It wasn't until the assassination attempt that I was like, man, this man's too divisive, and we can't go back to, you know, some of the shit that we were going through. And even at that time, my man was still going to vote for RFK.
Yeah.
It wasn't until RFK, you know what I'm saying, pulled out that it was like, you know, hey, we just going to fall in line and do our job and do what we got to do. And we're black men. We're amongst the 78%. So you can imagine how tough it was for people to even do that, who probably don't even align themselves with the Democratic Party. So yeah, man, independents are the people that you need to, like, bring on into your basket. And I feel like the Democrats did not do anything this election cycle to really garner more independent voters. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, they hurt themselves because she was unwilling to politically throw Biden under the bus and just separate herself from him on maybe one or two issues that obviously the media and the Republicans were trying to attach her to. She was unwilling to sever that, and when she should have. She should have also came out and said that, hey, Biden should have stepped down a lot sooner. Yes, does that suck to say that about him politically? No doubt. But is it the truth? Yes. Is it something that we want to hear? Yes. Does that humanize you? Like taking a question on head on and answering it honestly? Yes. So why not just say it? When you're unwilling to do that and people are saying that you're not authentic and you keep running with that authentic ass rhetoric, this is what happens. So yeah, when Donald Trump can sit up here and say, hey, I'll tax the hell out of other countries if I need to. I'm not going to hurt the American people. I'll get away with income tax. The man is at least coming up with even the answers are bogus.
Like a motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? He's at least saying, like, hey, I'm going to do something. I'm not going to give you some bullshit, you know what I'm saying, answer that does not really answer your question. I'm going to give you something.
going to eliminate.
And I'm gonna say it confidently.
60% of the United States.
But when I get into office, but we all know what he's gonna do. When he get into office, he's gonna figure this shit out as he go. It's what all presidents do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
listen, man. We talked about it enough. The thing is here is at this point, the Democrats need to do some deep soul reflection. You know what I'm saying? It's y'all lost to Donald Trump, which from any person with a clear sane in mind would tell you that Donald Trump probably ain't the best person for this job.
Why y'all keep putting a female against Donald Trump?
Y'all lost. Listen, I hate to be that person, man. But listen,
maybe he not the one.
I didn't say this time and time again, and it's still a lot to. Because
some people are gonna call me misogynistic for saying that.
But I'm saying I don't want to discredit the fact that like it's a fair amount of motherfuckers who didn't want to vote for a woman, also, right? So like we can't just be all like that didn't play a factor. It played a factor.
Yeah, but I also think there's a lot of people who just wanted to vote for a woman. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, maybe not at the same number.
I mean, I get you, but those are people who were going to vote Democrat probably anyway. You get what I'm saying? So
factual statement.
You get me? Right. So with that being said,
them niggas definitely voting Democrat.
yeah. Like I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to tell niggas this.
I have so many jokes and I'm not saying it because I wanna stay.
Listen, I said this
on the up and up with
when
you
boys was bringing up Michelle Obama running. I was like, the one thing America hates more than niggas is women, and y'all trying to put a black woman to run up for the presidency. Stop playing.
With no experience.
Stop playing,
just
dog.
because she was the wife of Obama. When this shit was coming out, I'm like,
first off, listen to me.
Oh my God, can we stop it? And I think you were saying like, but it would work. And I don't know if you were saying it would work.
Nigga, Donald Trump won. Nigga, what the fuck you talking about?
But in my mind, it's like, dog, we ain't got nobody. We ain't got nobody.
I'm saying, let's fight fire with fire. Y'all niggas want somebody real that's gonna sit down and shoot
if I'm gonna be real with the Democratic Party, y'all really should have just called Elizabeth Warren and been like, hey, Biden is stepping down. We want to put a female up there. We need you to get out there and talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? Elizabeth Warren, she'd have been ready for this. I know you may disagree with me because you're a little bit extreme, but we're talking hindsight. So anybody could have done a better job than Kamala at this point.
I don't think Elizabeth Warren is extreme. I just think that her take on like regulatory shit and like, I sat through and watched her like grill somebody over like Bitcoin, and like the woman didn't know anything that she was talking about. And so that shit has always rubbed me the wrong way since that day, because like if you come into something not knowing anything how technology works and you're trying to grill somebody over it.
I think a lot of people didn't know what Bitcoin was talking about.
But I'm saying you don't call a Senate hearing and then walk in there and I know how the technology works and try to grill somebody about it, dog. Like you were held to a higher standard than everybody else.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. A lot of these Senate hearings are for show. And I do think that, you know, right. I'm defending her. I'm giving her some grace.
Clearly.
But I will tell you that I think that she would have done confidently doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. She would have the confidence to at least get up there and fake it. You know what I'm saying? Look. Whatever you watched, even though she was wrong and everything she was saying, I bet you she was saying this shit confidently.
Yeah, like a motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? I bet you, I bet you she wasn't out here.
I'll give you that. All right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so
I'll give you that.
All I'm saying, I think Elizabeth Warren would have got on Joe Rogan and talked her shit. Could it have been some bullshit? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But I think she would have got on there and talked her shit. And I think American people would have been like, hey, man, she talking her shit.
Maybe.
So, look, all we want is somebody when we get into office that we know that they're going to be out there and they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready for action anytime, regardless of the issue. That's what we want to see.
I mean, listen, I don't know where America goes from here, man. But, again, I'm going to say this shit again because Democrats need to look inward because y'all lost to Donald Trump twice. Y'all lost to Donald Trump twice. And let me tell you something.
This was an ass whooping.
And this is
considered an ass whooping.
And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is again, we sat here and we said that they could have chose anybody outside of Joe Biden, and this shit was going to be a landslide. And this nigga actually won in a landslide against somebody else other than Joe Biden. It is a crazy turn of events, man. This has been the wildest presidential election that I can think of because I don't think I ever really looked at the election and politics as a circus. But what this has turned into, albeit, you know what I'm saying, how well Donald Trump does has yet to be seen. And if he truly brings on the people who he had like kind of in his circle to get him through this campaign,
he's bringing them on.
Huh?
He's bringing them on.
Okay, we gonna see.
He's bringing them on. I don't think Elon Musk is gonna be a part of the cabinet.
No,
but Elon Musk is gonna be. He's gonna have the president's ear throughout the 4 years.
We gonna see.
Y'all better be ready for some entertainment the next 4 years.
Yeah. And so with that being said, man, we'll see how this shit's gonna go. But I know personally speaking, although like his economic plan I can't get behind, but essentially what they want to do with shrinking the government and slowing down spending for the American people, that will do more good than any of the economic plans would have ever done. So if he can just do that shit alone, if he can find a way to cut a third of the American government, then we're gonna be all right, man. We're gonna be doing much better.
Look, regardless if the government tells you to do this or not, y'all need to start budgeting, man. Start getting ready, like start trying to take care of your debts.
Yeah, just
all of that. Like,
just for the record, so I can give y'all raw numbers here. The government spends $7 trillion a year, but only makes 5. So only takes in 5. So that creates on average right now a $2 trillion increase in the deficit every single year.
Them 200,000 IRS agents or whoever Biden hired.
Fire them niggas first.
Them niggas is gone.
Fire them niggas first.
Them niggas is out of here.
Fire. Hey, I hate to see niggas lose their job.
Them niggas
but
is
fire
out of here,
them
dog.
niggas first.
Good day. They low key, they already got the email today.
Hey,
they
bro,
got the email today. Like,
matter of fact, tighten up y'all resume.
Hey.
Matter of fact, I want you gone. I hate to say it, but I want
y'all
you
gotta
to
get up out of here. Y'all gotta get up out of here.
Fuck the IRS.
Them 200
Fuck
agents.
them niggas, man.
Them 200,000 agents they got hired. Yeah, man. This is gonna be your last Christmas.
Y'all ain't been nothing but extortionists for the government anyway.
GG's. Have a good one.
Yeah, the IRS are the tow truck drivers of America, nigga. Like, that's all y'all is, bro. Some grimy ass niggas. So don't expect for me to feel sorry for you niggas.
Biden got in there and said, like, hey, we need more agents. Nigga, what the fuck?
Hey, man.
What are you doing?
From jump, I wanted that nigga to get the fuck up out of there.
Hey, get this nigga up out of here, too. Who voted?
Who voted for this nigga?
Did he say he was going to do this?
Me. That's who. Me. I voted for that nigga.
Did Joe Biden say he was going to do this? Did he tell us he was going to hire all these agents?
Hold on, wait. 88 and 3 more zeros?
Nigga.
Hold on. No, he meant 8,000, right? 88? Nigga, get the fuck out of here, man.
Oh, all right. What?
We kept y'all long enough, man. We ranted and raved. If you made it this far, though, we appreciate you for kicking with us. Make sure you like,
comment,
and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, make sure you share this with your mama, brother, sister, cousin, anybody who feels the way that we feel and feel like the Democratic Party needs a serious adjustment, some tuning up. Make sure you share with them as well. With that being said, till next time, we out.